Srinivasan Nagarajan for having accepted to give a post triple E what the students can do. So this is the fine topic that we have selected, and thanks to Kumaravel and Shankar sir, the students are always very curious to know, having after having taken triple E. I think there is always a talk in the entire society that triple E is tough and you won't get any job for triple E like that and all. So the students have some hesitation to step into triple E. But as Aditya said, we can say we all know that knowledge is power, but power is the entire world today. That's what Aditya is doing now. So without power, you can't even move anything in this world. And if you achieve something good and go to some very meritorious positions, you will know what is the value of it. And also in future, you can be very strong in your development and various positions. And you can also, like Aditya said, you can be with your parents and family and everything. So I think it would be a very nice topic for the students also to follow. And power systems is the most important subject among all the courses in Triple E. So I think best of luck at all the students. And I also welcome Aditya to start with his speech. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am, for your words. I would now like to request Shweta to introduce the speaker for today.
Now I would like to welcome our honorable guest lecturer, Mr. Aditya Srinivasan Nagarajan. He has pursued his Bachelor of Engineering at Anna University and his Master's at Arizona State University in Electrical Engineering. He started his career as a software engineer in Infosys before doing his Master's. While pursuing his Master's at Arizona State University, he has also been a student worker. He is an MBA graduate from IIM Ahmedabad, and during this course of study, he has done an international immersion program at the Chinese University of Hong Kong Business School. He was the senior control design engineer for more than a year in ABB. He has nearly worked for 5.5 years in Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories Private Limited as an engineer in automation and as lead design engineer in IMEA region. He has also been honored for his outstanding contribution in 2012, for which he received the Helmut Sticker Award from Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories Private Limited. He is now the senior manager of KEC International Limited. He has established his creative ideas for projects all over South Asia. He is the founder, mentor, and a career guide for the Launchpad. A ceaseless hunting for learning shows his passion towards exploring things. He is an active person who wholeheartedly gives his piece of ideas and guidance to others. We all feel delighted that we got a chance to get ideas from you for molding our future, sir. We thank you for joining us today despite your busy schedule. Now I would like to invite our honorary guest lecturer to take over the session, please, sir.
Thank you for the generous introduction. Thank you, madam, for the telling the importance of triple E and how we can still pursue the interest of triple E. So definitely today I will try to cover points which will be beneficial for every student. So, and I'm also very happy to come back to SVC after a very long time. In fact, my Gmail ID itself is adi.svc. Just now I realized that I have kept that email ID since a very long time and since SVC days. So thank you all. And so yeah, let's get into today's session. I'll try to keep it very interesting. I'll try to keep it relevant. I'll try to keep it light so that you have some take-home points. When you finish the session, there is some value addition I hope I will be providing with my experience and my learnings and insight. And this is a phase in your college where we have a lot of fun. We think about what to do next, and there is a lot of anxiety also with respect to future plans. And I have gone through the same path. So I thought, let me share what is my experience and what is my guidance. I've also been guiding students over LinkedIn for almost close to 6 to 7 years. So feel free to reach out to me anytime. I will be very happy. And so today, let's directly dive into the topic. So what I would like all of you to first do is some self-introspection, right? Because there is so many options. And what I would like to tell is that the first most important question which you should ask, and I call these 5 important fundamental questions. I thought through a lot when I was doing this presentation so that I can help you relate with your problems and your, the way you want to shape your career. So the first important question which you want to answer is, what sort of a person are you? Do you like to be with people, or do you like to be alone doing a lot of research, or you like a mix of both? So it's very important because your personality is going to shape your future, and you should take jobs and you should take up research, or you should take up studies which suit your personality, where you go in line and it synchronizes with your personality. So this question of what person are you? So are you a people's person or a technical person? In a lot of MNCs, if you see, like ABB, if you take Apple, if you take Amazon, these are like really huge MNCs and dream companies for a lot of students and even corporate professionals. You see, they clearly demarcate into 2 basic things. You can either be a principal consultant or a principal director of technology, or you could be a CEO, CFO kind of role. So these are the 2 parts, and that's what I'm trying to get at in this first point. The second point is, like Shanta ma'am told, is that where do you want to settle? Do you want to settle here in India in the future, like for good, or would you like to settle abroad? Because people have different preferences, and with COVID now, travel is also becoming tough. But I'm sure COVID is going to, it's not going to last forever. It has to, go out of the situation. So where do you want to settle? You want to settle here, you want to settle abroad? A little bit of thinking of that, because that also will help us in our decision making. And the third is a very interesting thing: work experience or education. It's like the chicken and egg. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? And what happens is, when we come out of SVC, you see few people going for MS, you see few people going for MBA, you see few people going to the core sector, and a lot of people going to IT sector, just like me. There's a funny joke that it doesn't matter if you're chemical engineering, you're from EEE, you're from EC, there will always be Infosys, CTS, and TCS to come and give you job offers, and you will get into IT. And I personally, I also was one among that when I joined Infosys. So it's a huge number of options are there. But what we need to see is which is more suited for you at this moment. And I can tell you that one thing, that it depends on your interest, right? Now, let's say if you're a people's person, if you say that you don't want to, get into technical details too much, you can still do, your master's in the technical subject and then go on to do your MBA, just like I did. So here, I would like to, draw to your attention a very interesting model. I want all of you to be very attentive now, because this is a very powerful tool or a model which I used. It helped me in my career. It is called the T model. Okay, the letter T. You've seen the letter T, right? So the letter T has 2 components. One is the vertical component and the horizontal component, right? 2 components are there. What it says is that the vertical component is basically the depth of knowledge of your expertise. So let's say you are from electrical engineering. Which field you want to choose? Let's say power systems. I chose power systems. So what is the depth of the knowledge you have for power systems? And I did MS basically to do a deep dive into power systems. So after I did that, what you need to see is the horizontal part, this upper portion of the T. This is nothing but learning the different types of domains in the business. You have HR, you have operations, you have marketing, you have business development, right? So you have various domains. So that those things, it was helped because I did my MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, and so this portion I conquered through that. MS with MSI portion. So this T model helped me. That is why I did MS and MBA. Okay, you get the way why I did the decision point that I wanted to explain. The fourth, of course, is test preparation. I know some of you may have already started preparing for your GRE, GMAT, or TOEFL, IELTS, CAT, it depends. Like again, this depends on point 2. If you want to settle in India, for a 2-year MBA, you will have to write CAT. And for a 1-year MBA, you will have to write GMAT, right? For abroad, again, it depends. If it's US, you will write possibly GRE for your MS and GMAT for your MBA. And now they have started taking GRE also for your MBA. And if it is Canada or Australia, Europe, they ask for IELTS and TOEFL in certain US universities. So again, we will talk about test preparation. I will talk a few points on that. And the final point, which is very important is, and most of us are not aware at this point. See, had I known about point 5, I would have been a lot more, in a comfortable position after I graduated from SVC, because this is a very important thing. I want to expand and show what are the different domains and functions in a corporate environment. See, in a corporate environment, what happens is it is divided based on domains and functions. I will explain what it is, don't worry. So in this, what I would like you to do is that what is your long-term goal? Do you want to see yourself in marketing, or do you want to see yourself in operations or sales? If you're a good communicator, all these things help. If you say, no, I want to be a research person and I want to become a scientist, research scientist, then it's a different. So that long-term goal plus passion, you have to kind of figure it out. And with that, we will map your domain and function of work, right? So these 5 fundamental questions, are you aware? Don't worry about the slides, okay? Don't take photos in your mobile. I am a person who shares things with everybody. It will be out on my LinkedIn, and it will also be, I'll send a mail. So don't spend too much time taking photos of my slide. I will give you my slide. I want you to be totally attentive to my session. Even if you are attentive for 30 minutes, I'm pretty sure you will gain a lot of points, okay? So make notes. I don't have a problem with that, but don't worry about the slides. You don't have to remember these things. I will make you remember all of these things, right? So let's deep dive into the first topic. I talked about type of personality, right? I'm only going to talk about these 5 fundamental questions. So don't worry. It's a very simple theme and it's a very powerful theme. Okay. The first one is type of personality. And what happens is we keep looking outside all the time. If you take our scriptures like Vedas or Bhagavad Gita or any scriptures they say the most important thing is to look within. Okay. Before you look outside, you look within. What type of a person are you? You need to understand yourself first. Then only you can understand the world. Without understanding yourself, how will you understand the world? So for that, what you need to do, you should know your strengths. You should know your weakness, your likes, dislikes. We all have this because it is natural to have it. What I have, the other person may not have. So what happens is typically when we have peer pressure. In SVC, there was a joke that 90% of the people go for MS. So actually in that 90, only 20 or 30 may be interested. 40, 50 are going out of peer pressure. Everybody is going, okay, I will also go. Like that in my batch also, if you see, more than 90% have gone. It's a good thing. But what is important is whether that is the right thing, right? So that's why I want you to dwell deep into this strengths, weakness, likes and dislikes. It will take time. So how can we go about it? You will ask me a question. Okay, I want to understand myself. But if I am not aware myself, then how can I do? Then you go start asking your friends. You ask your peers. You ask your professors. You ask your seniors, any mentor you have, any relatives, any siblings, right? Even your parents are the best because your parents will know about what type of person are you. They have brought you up for such a long time. So take feedback. See, taking feedback in India means always telling nice things. Even after this presentation, if I ask how was the class, it was very good, all positive things. We always try to hide the negative. Never do that. Be open about what is negative. I'm not telling you to announce your negative thing to the entire world, no, but at least be aware of it. Being aware itself, what will happen is you will take some measures to kind of curb it, right? And also understand from your past. See, you have taken decision. You may be in science group. Like for example, in my life, I could have chosen computer science or biology in my 12th. I chose biology. I struggled a lot because in state board you have to really memorize, right? And I tried to memorize. I got some 1140 or something like that out of 1200. I still missed BITS Pilani. It was that time it was my dream. Okay, go to BITS Pilani. But after that, I landed in IIM Ahmedabad. But what I'm saying is that you have to learn from your past and learn from that point, the decision-making point. Had I chosen maybe computer science, maybe it would have suited my characteristics better. So, and another thing, what I want to share with all of you is there are tools available online. Okay, you can actually invest in these tools. You can make note of these 3 tools, which is called MBTI personality test, Myers-Briggs personality test. What happens is that it will give you a questionnaire. Okay, I don't remember the number of questions, maybe between 100 to 200 questions. Once you do those questions, it will put you in 16 baskets of different personalities. Whether you're an introvert, whether you're an extrovert, whether you're very conservative or very liberal, you are very generous, or you are to yourself. It gives you 16 different beautiful baskets, a very effective personality test. It will tell you what type of a person you are. Okay. The other thing is to know your strengths. See, a lot of times what happens, we're always focusing on the negative aspect. There is also positive aspect. So you want to know your strengths. In that, this Gallup-Clifton strengths, which I have told, there is even a book. I would really recommend that you can go to Amazon, you can get the book, and you will get a link for the strengths finder. They'll give you a coupon code. So you can put the coupon and then you can find out, you will answer some questions and it will tell you what are your 5 greatest strengths, what are your 25 greatest strengths. What happens, you can showcase this to your employer. You can say, I did it in a methodical way. Even during placements, you can tell, I took up this Clifton strengths and these are my strengths which was listed, and it is in alignment with what I have done. So that is the Gallup Clifton strengths. There is also this CPI, California Psychological Inventory. It also is similar to MBTI. So it's up to you. But when you take these things, what happens? A lot of self-introspection happens, right? What type of a person and how can you bridge the gap? See, there may be some gaps. We may think we are talking very politely, but the other person may look at us in a very different way, right? So that's why I am recommending these types of tools. And what this will do is basically, it will help you take a good decision regarding whether you want to become a manager or a technical specialist or a combination of both. It can be either of the 3. Okay. It doesn't have to be only one. It can be either of that. So it depends. So again, you will have to work on all these things. What we do is we just jump into a particular stream without even knowing whether we are the right person for it, right? So that's the reason why I'm going for the type of personality. The next thing what I want to talk about is India or abroad. See, everybody has different taste. They are thinking on what is satisfaction and success. The definition is a very relative thing for every person, right? So I want to talk about my experiences. I studied in India as well as I studied in abroad. I worked in India, I worked in abroad, and also I know on these parameters. So I will share you with a little bit how it is. Education methodology in India is like our CSK team. First 15 overs we will sleep. Run rate will be 8 runs per over. We will be tapping 3, 4 runs per over. The last 5 overs when Dhoni, Jadeja comes, we will try to hit 70 runs, 60 runs in 4 overs, 5 overs. And if we hit, we become a hero. If you don't hit, we become 0. But what it could have actually started, Watson and Vijay could have played well initially, right? But what happens, we build the pressure. Same like during our exams. First semester, what we will do, if it is a 3-4 month semester, 2-3 months, we will be, slowly taking singles. And finally, during the exam times, everybody will study 16-17 hours because I have done it myself. So that is the difference in India. But in US, it is a little different. When I did my master's, what I saw was, there is continuous evaluation. Every week you will have, assessments, you will have projects, you will have take-home exams, and you will have classes where class participation also you will have marks. And even in IIM Ahmedabad, I saw it was more mimicked with the US system. So there are differences. And what I want you to do is, I want you all to go out to the world and, explore the world. Because after doing your bachelor's, you have a lot of time before you settle in your life, right? I would say at least maybe close to 4 to 7 years you have to settle. So that time you should travel around the entire world, break all the stigmas, you will become a better person. You will open out, you will appreciate all the cultures. It is not like you should be a frog in the well sitting only in, in Chennai and only here or in your hometown. You should travel to the entire globe and do. So that is why I have visited US. I was there for 5 years. I worked in Switzerland, and then I have worked in Saudi Arabia. I have traveled to Hong Kong, like this person mentioned, for my exchange program. And then I also lived in Singapore for some time. So it helps you understand different people, global mindset, and it's very, very important. In your future, you will be working with global teams, you will be working across the globe. So this kind of exposure I would like you to do. See, whether you want to settle in India or abroad is your decision. But what I'm saying that travel and try to become, more conversant with what is going around. So that is one thing. The next thing is lifestyle. In India, you have a lot of traffic, it is more savings driven. If you see, in our families also, if you see, they will say, please save your money, buy gold, buy land. But in US, it is credit driven. They will have 20 credit cards. Everybody will have 10 to 20 credit cards. Because when you have credit card, what happens? You will swipe and your credit will build. When your credit builds, your credit history builds. When your credit history builds, your loan rates, right? Interest rate for loans comes down. So it is a very different lifestyle. It's fully spending. In US, if you see, they encourage spending. Whereas in India, they encourage saving. So there are differences in such subtle differences are there in the lifestyle, and which is suiting you, you have to see. And last, we'll come to the corporate culture. And this is one thing, if you see, a lot of importance is given to punctuality in especially in Germany and Europe, I would say, and in US, right? They give a lot of importance. When I was working in Switzerland, I used to take a train from the place where I lived to ABB. And what I saw was, by looking at the person where he is, I can tell the time. That accurate it is. And the people are so, like, I won't say robots, but they are so disciplined in life that if 8 o'clock is work, they will be at a certain place at 7:45. The train will exactly arrive at that time and they will go. And that is the sort. And the best part is they work exactly between 8 to 5. And because in India, we are used to working late hours, right? What happened is a funny thing. Around the second day or the third day, me and my colleagues, we were working there. We went there on an on-site visit. And around 5 o'clock, if you see, the lights were switched off, everybody left, and we were there till 5:20. And then suddenly our manager came, they said, what are you doing? I said, we're just working on that deliverable. No, you are not supposed to work overtime. There is no need of that. The client has given this deliverable at this particular time. Why are you working? And in India, it is just the reverse. If you pack your bags at 5 o'clock, the manager will come running there. Why you're leaving now at 5 o'clock? You have to, work. There is so much work is there. Everybody is working. Why you're so? There is a different corporate culture. I'm trying to get this corporate culture in KEC also. It's a little bit difficult because everybody knows that I leave sharp at 6 o'clock. Even my upper management also, they know after 6 o'clock they think twice before calling me. So that is very important because there should be a personal space and a workspace. If everything becomes workspace, then where is the personal space, right? Especially in this COVID, what happened? A lot of people are doing work from home. And work from home, from your siblings, relative, that earlier they used to work 10 hours, now they're working 20 hours because everybody is logged in the meetings, lot of meaningless meetings. So there is this corporate culture we want to understand, right? So I hope I have given a little bit flavor. Of course, if you have any questions or anything, you can reserve it and we will have a detailed discussion. I just want to give you some flavor. Now let's move to this third and very interesting catch-22 situation. It's basically, it says work experience or education, because once you graduate from BE, EEE, from SVCE, and you have this lovely certificate from Anna University saying that you are a bachelor's and that's the first degree you are getting in your life. What happens is, what is next? Whether I want to go to start working or should I go for abroad for my education or in India for education? So in this, what I would like to say is, if let's say you want to, the team model where you want to do the MS portion of it, let's say you want to conquer a particular stream within, let's say electrical, or you may be even interested in computer science. It's no harm in that. What ideally helps is that if you land up a job which is related to that particular master's program, it helps. So let's say if I want to do power systems, right? MS in power systems like I did. Landing in ABB or L&T or Siemens, KEC, what happens is that it is more connected with your studies. You will be able to better deliver when you're doing your MS. There is also this school of thought that immediately after you finish your school, you are going for your MS, which is good because what happens, there is a continuity of study. See, you have studied for 4 years, you are in that mindset. You look at Dhoni yesterday, how he batted. He is not able to even run because the guy was the most fit. He has been out of shape for 1.5 years. He is 1 year or close to 1 year he has not done. So Dhoni is my role model. So I will keep getting him inside at most times. Of course, I'm disappointed the way CSK is playing, but I want to give some real life examples so that we understand. So you want to have that connectedness of, you're studying and next phase. So you can definitely do your MS immediately after your bachelor's. That is definitely one. And doing MBA, what I would only suggest is that try to do it from the top IIMs or the top tier 1 colleges. If you're doing it immediately after your bachelor's. Why? Because there is one point. If you are interested in to do MBA, you need a lot of work experience to understand the corporate culture, because the concepts taught in the class will be based on your work experience. If you are going and sitting in the class without any work experience, you will look blank, because you are not able to understand what it is. It is not like theoretical stuff. It's actually practical. How HR department works, how operations work, how marketing works, and how finance and accounting works. So you need to have some corporate, experience. So my take is that having 3 to 4 years of work experience before doing an MBA will always pay rich dividends. And for masters, 2 to 3 years is ideal. If I want to do masters in power, 2 to 3 years, if you work, it is good for your masters. And of course, if you crack any of the top colleges without this experience, I would say fine, you can still go. It will be a little difficult to, it is the other way around. You're studying the concepts and then trying to incorporate in the work. So that is just the connection between here, and it's always important, like the future goal. Like I told, the team model, you may have a particular model within your mind, and see how you can incorporate that particular model. The other thing is about profile building. See, it is in incremental steps we can build your profile. Suddenly overnight we cannot build your profile, right? I will tell you this interesting story of profile building. What happens is that I finished my BE in SVC. I did my MS in Arizona State in power. I did MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. I had these 3 things. I thought, okay, I'm ready for corporate to rock in the corporate culture. I will really do well in the management. But then when I completed my MBA and I had a job with KC, I had 1 month gap. So I called up my mentor. I was very proud. I said, I did this, that. He said, wait, you have been put in a project management role. You don't have pure project management experience. The guys whom you are working with will have 20 to 30 years of experience. How are you going to manage them? So don't be, jumping. Come down to the ground. Do PMP, Project Management Professional Certification it is. So 17 days I studied for more than 16 hours, and I incorporated that, and I got the PMP certificate. And today, more than any of my studies, the PMP has helped me in my job, because it went in a structured way. I have a framework. How do I manage my stakeholders? How do I manage the procurement? How do I manage the cost, quality, everything? The PMP has given me a good. So never, be always contented with, okay, I did this enough. No, you should always try to learn more, be hungry. There is something more out there which you can do, So try to keep searching for it and keep learning. I would say that learning aspect should never stop. I'm not just telling accumulate degrees and certification. No, not like that. You should learn, whether it's job or it's your education. Try to learn something. Don't just try to memorize and learn the concept. Try to get involved, dig deep into the facts, and do. That is very important. And last is, of course, the connectedness of the career path. Right now, you're sitting on the other side. You will be thinking, okay, this guy has 8 years of experience and he has seen, and so now he's giving me a lot of knowledge and gyan. But when I look back now, there is a lot of dots which was there, and it's now all getting connected. So at that moment right now where you're sitting, you may not be able to connect all the dots, but have that hope, have that trust, and have that plan, so that I will be able to join the dots in the future. This is how my graph is going to look like. That idea, that connection of your career path should be there. It should not be like it is going on a free flow. Whatever comes, I will take and I will go. No, have total control of what you want to do. You want to be in the power sector, you want to be in the electrical sector, you want to be in the IT, have that at least, even if you are not able to do that, at least have that awareness what you want to do. And that is what I mean by connectedness of the career path. Okay, now we will come to the interesting topic of test preparation. I'm sure some of you may already have done some research on this. So I have written most of these tests. Okay, so once I graduated from my SVC, I had 30 days to join Infosys. So I wrote my GRE. It was for 1,600 back then. And 2 years back, I wrote it for my MBA. So that was for, I think 340 now the test. So GRE, generally it is provided by your ETS. And there are few preparations like Manhattan Prep or Princeton Review, Mania Group, Magoosh, Kaplan. So these are some providers, and you will basically be tested on verbal and math, right? 170 points each. And it's, I would say GRE is not very difficult to crack. Yes, you have to put in some effort. GRE, you can use it for MS, and right now you can even use it for your MBA. A lot of business schools have started taking GRE. In fact, ISB has also started taking GRE. IIMs have also started taking GRE for your 1-year MBA program. So GRE has now got a lot of visibility in terms of an exam. And then comes GMAT. It's a little difficult devil to crack compared to GRE. It is a little bit difficult. So this will take some time for preparation, and both are computer adaptive test, but GMAT is it takes the level little higher. So GMAT is your official provider, which I have written the first. They are the official provider. Manhattan Prep, of course, I really am a big fan of them. They are really good. They have a lot of tutors who are 99 percentile and above. GMAT helps you to do MBA abroad as well as MBA in India, 1-year MBA in India, which requires certain experience, more than 4 years or 3 years of experience. So you want to keep that in mind. CAT, a lot of you might be knowing, you will have your relatives who will always say he got 99.9% in CAT, he cracked IMA, IMB. So these are some of the resources. I have not written CAT so far, so I escaped from that test, but there are some really good institutes. And of course, you have TOEFL and IELTS. IELTS is basically for, if you want to go to Canada or Australia, certain countries take in IELTS, so you can always go for that. And right now with the COVID situation, you might ask, is this really worth it? Actually, what has started happening, MIT Sloan program, right, which is a really prestigious Ivy League, they have waived off the test, and you can directly submit your application. That's very beautiful. In a COVID, which is actually we are going in the other way, where we are thinking twice before we want to study. But such very premier institutes are waiving off the test. This is really an opportunity. You can put in your hat and see whether your profile is really good, and you will crack. So this is something you can do. See, why I'm saying all this right now is you have the time. When you are in your college, when in the bachelor's, I always used to play cricket with my batchmates, EC versus EEE and all that. I got completely involved in extracurriculars, and which is all very good. But I never gave this a thought. Maybe I could have invested a little bit more time when I was studying at SVC. A little bit, it is kind of looking back and seeing. Of course, I did my best, but I could have done this also. So a lot of my classmates, they went, they prepared, and when you're in your studies mode, this is like one extra subject. Invest in one extra test preparation and then keep the score ready. I'm not telling you have to go there and study abroad and in India, but at least write the tests and keep yourself ready, because GRE, GMAT is around 5 years, I think, validity, and TOEFL should be around 2 years validity. So keep yourself ready. Don't let your brain rust. That is a very important thing, and we will discuss more on this if anybody has specific questions. And in fact, I can even give you a session on GRE separately, GMAT separately, career path separately. But since this is an overall career shaping session, I have tried to keep to all the topics, and then if there is any particular request, or if students want more sessions, I am very happy. I will spend every weekend also, I can spend giving back to SVC, because that's always something I wanted to do. So I will do it for SVC, and I will help all the students. So let's check out the next thing. Is nothing but the domain of work. Okay, I remember I told you the fifth point, which is very important. A lot of people are not aware what is this domain of work and function of work. See, in US, I found out this, that it is not just important if you tell that you are an electrical engineer, but within electrical and electronics, what is the specialization you are going to do? Is it power systems? Is it power electronics? Is it electromagnetic waves? It is control systems, or is it signal processing? It is very, very specific. You choose. If you choose a subject in the US, you have to also tell what you're going to specialize in. In India, the problem is we become generic. We study, like we study all the subjects. But in US, Europe, and if you take abroad, they go specifically into a particular subject. And this is very important. Why? Because if it's power and energy systems, the companies and the roles which you're targeting is very different. If it is VLSI and embedded, the company roles are very different. And if it is control systems, it is very different. And all these subjects we are taught very well at SVC and as well as in our bachelor's. But we never think of it like, okay, my career itself will be like this. Because I still remember there was a Jayashree madam who used to teach in SVC. She taught me transmission and distribution. Okay, at that time I thought this is my favorite subject. I know I really want to delve into this. That's why I did power systems. And after I did MS in power systems, I was taught by a professor, Carady. late Kennedy, and he taught me transmission and distribution. And today I am working in transmission and distribution. Why? I always dreamt that, okay, I should be in the power sector. I want this particular thing. But see, it was more of a luck also played a part that I was able to get into the same domain and in my hometown. But what I'm saying is have that particular vision where you see that, okay, this is my subject, because you are, I don't know, you're now, right now you may be studying, I think 40, 50 subjects. We used to study around 40 subjects back then. And in that 40 subjects, what is the subject which strikes a chord, right? There will be some subject you will really breeze through the subject. Yeah, this without even putting any effort, you will be getting it, and you really like that subject. So identify that. Start identifying that. What is that subject which you can do? That is the domain of work. The next, what I am trying to say is the function of work. See, when you come to corporate, the corporate, what it does, or in the work environment, they divide it into different functions. You can be in operations stream, you can be in marketing, you can be in finance, you can be in supply chain, procurement, project management. And so I was not aware of all these things before I joined my MBA. And after I did my MBA, only I realized that there are so many streams where we can get into. You may be a technical person, but also you may be within a particular function. So that way, I feel that having a little bit of idea on all these things, it's very important. Because if you're in HR, what is HR? Human relations. You need to be a people's person. You need to get along with people well. If you say I'm an introvert, I will not get along well, and then you join HR, then it will become a big, massive, difficult challenge. But whether it's a marketing, you are a complete extrovert. You like to talk to a lot of people. You like to sell products. You like to sell the products which your company builds or the services. Marketing is the way to go about it. Finance, finance is like a lot of accounting and commercial aspect. So a lot of people do CFA. CFA, there is a certification you can look up in Google, Chartered Finance Account Holder. So it's a kind of engineering version of CA, I would say. If you are not able to do CA, and if you're an engineer, then CFA is the way to go about it. So that way you can look at finance and accounts. Supply chain is a beautiful subject. Amazon, it's a global leader in this supply chain and procurement. And in fact, in US, they have specializations for MBA also. Whereas in India, it is mostly generic general management, except I think you have XLRI, which gives HR specialization. But mostly in India, if you see, it will be very general management. So this particular thing which you keep in back of your mind, which stream. And I'll tell you one thing. See, you have to be open to everything, right? You cannot say I will not work here, or this is not my field. Why? Because when you become a CEO, which I'm hoping all of you will become one day, you have to master all these subjects to talk the language of the people and the leaders there and the team there. If you are not someone who understands operations, then tell me, how will you lead the company? You have to understand what the operations. If you want to know accounts, only if you know accounts, you can think about how your balance sheet is looking like, how your income statement is looking like. So as a leader, if you really want to become a leader in any corporate, the functions is very important. And I would say be open, try to explore as many functions as possible before you turn 35, 40. And after that, it becomes like you have become established, right? So then you tend to go in that particular stream, and then you go up the ladder. So that is the way I look at this function. Okay, now I finished everything, and you will ask me right now, at this moment, what can I do? Because you're telling me a lot of things which I can do in the next 5 years, 10 years. Right now, at this moment, I'm talking about the very moment right now at 5:39, what can I do? You can do a lot of things. And I will tell you some really powerful things which you can do. First is have a LinkedIn presence. LinkedIn is a very powerful portal. I have been active in LinkedIn, and I think Kumaravel sir also knows how much active I am on LinkedIn. And really, I encourage all of you, because the professional world is there. Gone are the days where Facebook used to be the social media. Now everybody is turning to LinkedIn and Instagram. Of course, Instagram is the personal side, but the professional side is LinkedIn. So try to build a stellar profile. Try to look at people on LinkedIn. Look at them. I know the speaker who introduced me looked at my LinkedIn profile, because all the points I saw, I put it in LinkedIn, so it has come out really well. I was thinking I didn't give this point. So LinkedIn is a very powerful profile. And so please work on LinkedIn. And if you want any tips, I can even take a session, 1 hour session or a 45-minute session on how to, have your LinkedIn profile built. Work on a lot of industry projects and internships. See, what is happening is we are getting a lot of theoretical knowledge in the college at SVCE, lot of good professors, they're giving you the theory and you're learning, but where are you putting it to practice? You can only put it in practice in industry projects and internships. Then only you can link the dots and then go to your employer and crack the interview. Because knowing the theory is important, but knowing how to apply that is also very important, right? And next is networking. This is one thing I saw that in SVC, it worked really well. I'm pretty sure even your batch and future batches also, you network with everybody, network with your seniors, network with people outside your circle, network with people abroad, and try to have a big circle, because see, you don't know where the assistance is going to come from tomorrow. If you want to seek advice or some sort of mentorship or some sort of guidance, your network is very important, right? Currently in my LinkedIn, I have close to 11,000 followers in my LinkedIn, and this has accumulated over a period of time, over last 4 or 5 years, because I have tried to give a lot of content. I don't want to keep the content with me. I have learned all these things and I want to give to the network. So try to contribute to the network, because you may be an expert in a certain field. Try to go there and contribute a lot. It's not only about taking from a network, it's also about giving the network, and you will have tremendous joy. And here comes the best part, the Toastmasters International. I had a classmate called Aditya Maheshwaran, right? He was the other Aditya in my class. And I saw that he was consistently, attending this Toastmasters International Club. And it's a speakers forum and a leadership forum where you meet a lot of people, you give a lot of speeches, you improve your body language, your tone, your modulation, your voice, and pitch, and everything. So you will become a better leader. I really recommend people to join Toastmasters International, and it's a very nice club. You will meet a lot of professionals from different verticals. That is the beauty of it, and you get a lot of mentors. Tremendous volume. You will not have one or two, you will have many people mentoring you. And of course, papers and conferences, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be doing that, and I would request you to do it. Test preparation, we talked about it. Utilize your time currently, study for different tests, try to crack them when you're in college, because you have better shot of it when you're in college. Once you get out of college, I'll tell you, corporate is a very cruel environment, time bound. You will not have time, and once you come back from your work, you will feel very tired, and then starting a new innings on the evening is the toughest thing to do in your life. So try to crack all the tests while you are in college. And interview preparation. See, what happens is that we have certain brands which we want to get associated. People usually say, I want to be part of Google, I want to be part of Microsoft, I want to be part of Amazon. But every company has a interview style. Their style of interview is different. If you see banking sector, banking typically gives psychometric test first. They evaluate that and then only they start the interview. Whereas if you see like something like a core sector, first will be the technical round and then only they will start going one by one. So you need to have a target, which my next point, target your companies, and based on the target companies, let's say I want to get into ABB, I want to get into Amazon. There is a particular way or method to get into that, right? So try to do that. And resume building. And I cannot talk less about this because this is the most important point. Resume building is something I think we have to invest a lot of time, because it cannot be done overnight. And I can do a resume building workshop for all of you. If time permits, sometimes I can even teach you how to build resumes. I have built resumes which will sell like hotcakes, because the important thing is, how do you show your profile to the entire world? How do you market? In Wolf of Wall Street, DiCaprio says, right, sell this pen to me. So that way, how do you sell yourself, or how do you market yourself to the world? It's very important. You may be really brilliant, and if you're not able to market, then where is the value? So that is very important. So resume building. I'm thorough fundamental of courses. So let's say Kumaravel sir put a very solid foundation for me in switchgear. I'm still in switchgear. Last 6 years I've been working in something related to switchgear. Right now I'm a manager, but earlier, if you see, I have been going. So Jayashree madam had given a transmission distribution. Shanta ma'am had given control systems. So it's like you have to be very thorough with the fundamentals. With the fundamentals at this point of time is important, because on this only you're going to build your career. So don't take it lightly, because it's very easy in BE to put less effort and do well. But I would say that effort should be towards understanding the concepts rather than about just marks or anything. You understand the concepts and try to do. And also try to study from Coursera, Khan Academy, Udemy. These are really good portals where you can actually do courses which you like. Let's say you want to know how MBA is now. So you can take up marketing course. Maybe you just take one course of marketing and see how it is, and that way you can do it. So that way I would suggest you to take a lot of courses in Coursera, Udemy, and of course community service. Right now with this COVID situation, it's looking a little difficult to go out and help people. But when you get time, go to schools, go to your if you are from some remote place, hometown, try to go back and help the community, or within your community try to be part of different associations. You are young, you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of time, maybe you don't have a lot of money right now, that's the only thing. So you can build a lot of goodwill. This is the time you can build a lot of goodwill, because once you get old, you may not be able to spend time might be a factor which you may not be able to spend, and also energy. So right now you have both. So try to go out there, help the community, try to help people around you, keep a good ecosystem, and that way, because one of my favorite activities is I live in Araipuram, Raja Annamalaipuram in Chennai. And here there is always this problem of, people dump some garbage or dump something. There is this Namma Chennai app. It's a really powerful app. I take photo of that, I lodge a complaint, and then I ensure that the corporation guy comes and he cleans it. I also have this dream that someday our Chennai or our Araipuram will look like, Phoenix or Las Vegas or something. We will go to that extent, but unless we as people, citizens, we do something about it, we cannot expect every government and everybody to do. So this is very important. Giving is very important. Always, it's not about, and I want all of you to give to the community. Most important message for the day: keep the fire burning. Look at Virat Kohli. You can see the fire in his eyes every time he comes to play. I've seen the guy, evolve for the last 10-12 years, and look at the amazing thing, how he has learned. Keep that fire inside you, that I will achieve, I will do what I have to do, and you learn, you improve yourself, because only if you improve, you can go to the next level. You teach. Why am I teaching? I also want to learn. See, I will get some feedback, I will make it better next time. Share a lot of things. It's not only keeping things to yourself. Share it and be very happy. Don't be sad anytime. This is the COVID situation is a difficult situation, I agree, but be very happy. You have the facility, you have the internet connection, you are doing very well in terms of health. This COVID will be out very soon, and this is the right time to study. The next few years to study. You're sitting very safe in that environment, and look at the number of people. Look at me. I am going to Pudukkottai, I am going to Tiruchi, I am going to North Chennai, Taramani, Korattur. Every day I am traveling. I really don't know what is going to happen. It's a very volatile situation. So that way you be very joyful that you are in a very good space. And in that it will be good. And of course, stay healthy, do yoga, do meditation, do exercises, and keep your physical fitness, because without physical fitness, all of this will crash. Whatever I talked in the last 40-45 minutes will crash if you don't have physical fitness. It's very important. So keep yourself physically fit, and you should really keep, that will keep you in high spirits. With that, I am concluding my session. Okay, I hope I have given a lot of ideas, because for me, it is not about talking about a theoretical stuff. I can talk about transmission lines for 5 hours. It's very easy, but it will serve a very small set of audience. I want to talk to everybody. I want to reach out to everyone. And that is why I give this. It's kind of like a refresher session. If any topic you want me to do any other day, you can please give the feedback to professors, and I will be very happy. I have given you my LinkedIn ID. Okay, I will share this PPT also with all of you. Don't worry. And of course, my email ID. So you can reach out to me anytime. And I have mentored more than 6,000, 7,000 students in the last 6-7 years. So I am always happy to help students. I have been there. I have done that. So with that, I would like to, if any questions are there, I can definitely take them right now.
Thank you, sir, for your powerful and inspiring words. It was really very helpful for us. Guys, the session is open for questions. I have no hesitation to come up with the questions.
Actually, Prashant has asked one question. Good question. These psychological evaluation, you can take it from the official sources also. So, like for example, I talked about Clifton, right? A strength finder. If you go to Amazon, the book itself is there, and the book will have the coupon code, and that will tell you the site and everything. So that is best. With respect to Myers-Briggs test, which I talked about, lot of sites give you that. So There are free sites and paid sites, so it will not be a big trouble. Just you can look at it. You can in fact talk with your placement cell, or you can talk with your professors who are in charge of placement and recommend them the 3 tools which I told. Because I think having investing in that will be very important for students. You know, it will help all of you. So maybe that is something you can do. So there is not like one site. So if you go to Amazon, you will definitely get the book for Strengths Finder, and that Strengths Finder book will tell you how to go about that thing, and they will give you the link within the book. It's very, it's not that costly. I think it's less than 400-500 rupees. So that way you can do. And MBTI test is available everywhere. If you just type MBTI, you will get the test, right? And doing MBA versus business, which is the best? Harihara Sudan. Okay, nice question. Harihara Sudan, see, if business runs within the family, right? If your family is running a business, and if they're doing, and if you are interested to do, then you will have the fundamentals laid for that. It becomes very easy. But if business does not run in the in your blood, and you are interested towards it, then doing an MBA and then, you know, trying to you know, get into the entrepreneurship will help. Because what MBA does is it gives you the fundamental to run the business, right? Even if you want to pursue business, you need to know the fundamentals to run the business. So for that, it really helps. So I would recommend that if it is not in your family blood to run business, because if it is there, then you will be sitting in that business, you will learn from your relatives, and it would have got acquired. If it is not acquired at that time, then you want to do your MBA, right? So then Sai Prashant is asking a question. I want to choose a career which will also be in the core field, but also contribute to nation building. Your thoughts? Excellent. See, I am doing that right now. If you think about it, infrastructure is what? Providing power to all of you. If right now we are having power, it's because we are building the substation and transmission lines. Tell me, without the substation, Taramani and Korattur, if I just you know, take out the fuse, or if I, you know, short circuit the entire thing, and it will lead to a dark out in most parts of Chennai, won't it? So, you know, that way we are definitely going towards, you know, giving power supply to the entire country. Power grid is basically from Raigad to Pugalur. It's connecting north with south. We commissioned a line. So that is nothing but we are building for how many farmers we are giving electricity. We are giving electricity to remote villages. So definitely it is possible, Sai Prashant. There are a lot of different streams, not only infrastructure. Within other streams also you have. So there are, you know, a lot of startups which has come. Where they teach the school, and Teach for India is one organization you can Google and see. So like that, there are a lot of different streams. So definitely you can do both. It is nothing impossible. It is definitely possible. Okay. So how to fuse technical field over business? So I think you want to ask Trevin Fernando is how do you blend both? I guess that is the question. Hope I got that question. Is how you want to blend the technical field with the business. See, like I said, the team model, right? Team model where you first get expertise in a particular technical field, whichever is your liking. And once you get that expertise, then you do the horizontal part of it, where you learn the different domains and aspects of business. That is how you get the blend between both. Because whatever field you are working, you are in the business, right? You are always in the corporate environment. So how do you blend both? And that is something which you can do through an MS, MBA, and these are educational qualifications which will help you transition and be a launchpad to that, right? So Adityan M asked, sir, is Ivy Leagues too hard to get in? If I'm interested in pursuing masters, should I concentrate on degree or the university? Very good question. Here, what I would say is, see, Ivy Leagues definitely it takes a little bit more to get into those. But if you have a stellar GRE score, and if you have a good profile, like I talked about Toastmasters International, if you are able to prove yourself in different facets, getting into Ivy League is not too hard. You can definitely do it. It is doable. It is possible, probable. You need to put a lot of efforts for that. And if you want to concentrate, I would say concentrate on the stream of line which you want to do. See, I wanted to do power systems. I looked at universities which are good at power systems. Arizona State was one among those. And then I chose Arizona State. I did not shortlist the universities and then see which field to do. First, shortlist the field, which field you want to get into, and then shortlist the university. That is the right way to go about it for doing for your MS.
Any more questions? Okay, Kavya.
Thank you, sir, for patiently answering our questions. I'd like to ask Sandhya Lakshmi to take over for word of thanks.
On behalf of AEEE, I extend a hearty thanks to Mr. Aditya Srinivasan Nagarajan for giving us the most enlightening guidelines. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your motivational words that has shown us a new path. Thank you for inspiring lecture, sir. I take immense pleasure in thanking Dr. K.R. Shanta Ma'am, Vice Principal, SVCE, and Head of the Department EEE for her continuous support for the occurrence of the events. I would now like to thank our AEEE faculty coordinators, Kumaravel sir and Shankar sir, and all the AEEE student coordinators and faculty members for their immense support for making this event happen. Last but not the least, I thank all the participants for attending and making this event even more productive.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody
Thank you.
for the opportunity.
Yeah, I also thank Aditya. It's nice to hear that you developed your theoretical knowledge from SVCE, and you are also showing your interest in talking to SVCE students, and it's a nice topic for this younger generation, because I also feel that after completing even my studies at long years back, what to do next, that was a really big question. And somehow without my knowledge, I entered to a polytechnic college to teach near Pudukkottai. Then somehow I landed up in teaching only at the final end. I have completed my 25 years of service in SVCE. So
Wow.
I recollect what you said, that you were interested in transmission and distribution. And later you went for MS in power systems, and somehow you are now ended up in power system side. So something that it's very nice to hear that your appreciation to SVCE. Let the Lord Vijay Ganapati bless you for success in all your future. And thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Aditya.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Students, kindly ensure to fill up the feedback form, put up in the chat box. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, to all of you. So அவ்வளவுதானே சார், குமாரவேல் சார்?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Feedback மட்டும் வாங்கிட்டு நாங்க லெஃப்ட் ஆயிரோம் மேம்.
பட் அட்டெண்டன்ஸ் இது வருதா?
Yes, ma'am. அது அட்டெண்டன்ஸ் வந்து நாங்க இதுலயே வந்து எடுத்துறோம் மேம். அந்த நம்பர் ஆஃப் பர்சன்ஸ் அட்டெண்ட் பண்ணாங்க. Yes, ma'am. அதுவும் பண்ணிரோம்.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
No problem.
Thank you.